In previous class, we have learned about what are the different types of flows that we have in Salesforce, like screen flow, record trigger flow, auto launch flows, scheduled flows, platform events flows, and record trigger orchestration flows. And also we have seen a limitation of the flow. So one of the limitation is it's only allows to schedule anything for once daily or weekly. Okay. And the second limitation is we can't call a scheduled flow. Sorry, we can't have screen flow from record trigger flows or scheduled flows, etc. Okay. This is the another limitation. Okay. Now let's first see. We will just create one of the flow. Okay. We'll just work with our first scenario. So we can switch to lightning experience. And we can go to setup, then flows. Under process automations, we can just identify a flows. Here we can click on new flow. Okay. Starting from the scratch. So I'm selecting the screen flow here. Okay. Create. Okay, guys. Screen flows are something like that. You can call from Apex class, Lightning pages, because Lightning is something like that. In Salesforce, guys, we have some default UI, right? All these UI and buttons, links, or objects, navigations, everything, it came by default, right? We can create an application, and these are some default applications that we can create, right? Or we can create the custom applications also that we have seen by adding few objects. These are all like inbuilt functionalities that we have been using. Okay. No, I don't like this structure format. Okay. For example, if you want to create your own custom application, like here, what is the format is using BNB insurance app. Okay. Basically, what we can do, basically, there are two ways of applications we can create. One is side by side tab. And in case if you select the console, all tabs will display like a drop down. No, I don't want to display like that. I want all the tabs as the links in this application. Okay. That is something which is not possible through the standard Salesforce. That is possible to the Lightning. Lightning in the sense of LWC, Lightning Web Components. Like we have HTML, CSS to design our own web pages, right? So the same way, Salesforce uses Lightning Web Components and Aura Components. Basically, it's the three things, guys: Visual Force pages, Aura components, Lightning Web components. It's exactly how the flows are evolved. The same way Lightning Web components are evolved. But all the three things are for the visual forces. Initially, they have, before Lightning, if you want to work with any customization, any your own pages, own UI, they use Visual Force pages. Okay. After that, they introduced the Lightning. Okay. When they introduced the Lightning, they came up with the concept of Aura. Ara components. Okay. It has some more advantages compared to the Visual Force pages. Okay, we can reuse the code and we can reuse the same component in multiple places. Basically, the major advantage is reusability, guys. Okay, but ARA components are also not working well. It was a failure product of Salesforce, guys, I can say. Then they came up with a concept of Lightning Web Components. Okay, when I'm discussing about my future development classes, we will clearly explain the difference between the three of these things. So Lightning Web Components are the advanced version of the Salesforce front-end language, I can say. Okay, like how we have HTML, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. This is also one of the front-end language that used in Salesforce, Lightning Web Components. Okay, so whenever you are developing such kind of your own UI also, you can call this flow. Okay, screen flows. So to display some configured screens that are present from this flow, you can use it. Okay, so this is a screen flow. When you just select anything, the thing here is you can add a screen, or you can select an action, or you can call a subflow. Okay, from one screen flow to you can call another screen flow, guys. Okay, that is nothing but the subflow is nothing but the some other flow that you can call. If you see it here, here it is giving you the different flows, right, which are available. Okay, cancel item flow, changes, change owner, like these are the different flows which are already given by the Salesforce. Okay, so here you can just see that review content. Okay, from here you are able to access that review content flow. That is something like that. From the screen flow, you can access another screen flow. Okay. And cancel item flow. If you see the flow, right? Cancel item flow is send feedback ready notification. This is one of the auto launched flow. So if we go to the flow builder, okay, this is the, sorry, send feedback ready notification enablement. Just give me a minute, guys. I'm just checking it out. So I'm just creating some test flows, guys. Okay. This is the simple flow, auto launch flows. Mm, I'm just adding a create record operation. From this flow, what I'm creating is, let me create a task. Okay. Or else create an account. Anything is fine. I would like to create only one account. So I would like to create it manually. Then I just need to select an account because I would like to create an account, right? Then I have to give the names, test account, and then I can add rest of the fields also. For example, type prospect account. Okay. Then I can simply not getting save button. Let's reduce your screen a little bit, guys, so that you will see all the buttons. Okay, so I have configured everything. My save button is enabled. So I can click on save. Here, test auto launch flow. Okay. I'm simply giving, okay, and click on save. Okay. Test auto launch flow. This is your, whenever you did some changes on this flow and you try to save it again it will create the another version of the flow, guys. Okay. Activate. Okay. Now your auto launched flow is activated. Whenever, for example, whenever you would like to create an account, okay, with the name of test, then you can simply call this flow. Then automatically it will create an account. Okay. So now I would like to check, reload. From the scratch, it's a screen flow I selected and select. We can go to the subflow. See, we can call our auto launched flows. Okay. From screen flow, you can call your screen flows as well as you can call your auto launched flows. The same way, let me create one record flow. Calling the screen record flow from the screen flow is not possible, guys. Okay. Let me show you that thing also. So I can go to the flow. I'm clicking on new. Okay. I'm going to create the record triggered flow. At the time of record triggered flow, I need to select an object. Let me select some object when a record is created or a record is updated. Let us assume record is created or let us take record is updated. We can just select the configuration depending on our requirements, guys. Okay. So whenever stage name is changed, okay, stage name is changed. True or false. That means on the opportunity record, whenever stage name is changed, I would like to perform some operation. Okay, that's the reason I'm trying to do. So fast field updates is something like that. If you want to update fields of that particular opportunity, any other fields of this particular opportunity, whenever stage is changed, okay, I would like to update some field on the opportunity. Then fast field updates. No, I would like to update other records. which are related to the opportunity. For example, account record, I would like to update. Or opportunities are related to some policies, let us assume. Then I would like to update policies records. Then in that case, we are going to select second operation. But generally, we are going to select the first operation. Like both the things we use, guys. It's simply if you want to update the same record information, then fast field updates. Or else if you want to update the other records information, then actions and related records. I just selected actions and related records. Okay. And then here we can just do something. I'm just selecting some action, send an email alert. Okay. I just selected some send success email. Stage successfully changed. Stage change email. Okay, let us assume my requirement here is whenever the stage is changed, I would like to notify to some people. Okay, that is what. Here, the record ID. This is the email alert. Triggering opportunity dot account ID. Okay. I mean, for example, if it has any, this is having case, right? Email alert. This is saying case dot send email. So in that case, uh, is opportunities related to any cases? It's not related to any cases. Okay, just select account ID, guys. Okay, triggering opportunity dot account ID and click on save. Okay, this is test record triggered flow. Okay, click on save. I was just creating some dummy flows, guys, just to show you what flows that we can access from Screenflow. And vice versa, we will see in all the flows. From the Screenflow, we have seen we can able to access the record triggered flow. Okay. I'm going to activate this flow. Each and every flow should be activated, guys. In case if it's inactive, then that is not used flow. Okay. So now let me just go to the flow builder and in the Screenflow, now I'm refreshing it. Okay. Screenflow. Selecting the option of subflow. Okay. See, test auto launched flow is coming, but test record flow is not coming. Okay. This is one of your interview question, guys. Okay. When you are dealing with the Screenflows, you cannot call record triggered flows from Screenflow. Important things to remember. Okay. Screenflows generally be used to display screens from lightning pages or actions, quick actions. Okay. Lightning pages are quick actions. Lightning pages, lightning web pages, I can say. Web pages or LWC. Okay. Lightning web pages, generally we implement this using the Aura or LWC technology or quick actions. This is the first point that we need to remember. Okay. Then coming to the second point is we cannot call record triggered flows. We can call subflows from the, we cannot call record triggered flow, no, from screen flows. Okay. I mean, instead of record triggered flows, guys, I can simply say we can only call auto launched flows. Auto launch and another screen flow from as part of subflow action. Okay, guys, this is something is important. From the screen flows, we can call auto launched flows or we can call another screen flow as part of the subflow action. Apart from that, we have some other flows like scheduled flows or we have something like record triggered flows. Those things we cannot call from the screen flows. Okay. This is the um, second thing that you need to remember about the screen flows. And the third thing is we can, what are the different actions that we can perform using screen flows? Okay. Um, we can perform following actions using screen flows. So if you go to the flow builder and click of the button, so you can add the screens and you can perform certain actions. So actions is something like that. Um, like submit for approval is one of the action, guys. Okay. Like already Salesforce has some default actions. Whenever you want to submit a record for approval, yes, you can just select this action, submit for approval. Whenever you want to send some email, you can just select this action, send email. Whenever you want to post a charter, okay, post to charter actions. Okay, these are the different actions that we can perform. Okay, there are different things. We can call some default Salesforce actions, or we can call a subflow. We can display our screens. Like these are the different things that we can perform. Okay. What are the different actions that we can do using screen flows are, so the first thing is we can display a screen to capture inputs from users. To capture inputs from users. And second thing is we can call standard Salesforce actions like submit for approval, post a charter, or send an email message. Basically, these are the common most used actions, guys. Okay, like etc. If you can explain them about these three things, that's fine. Or else we can create a task also, like save an appointment, create a task, or we can create some contact. Okay, we have some quick actions, right? Test, create, contact, quick action. Those quick actions also we can call it. Those are all nothing but the actions. We can perform some standard actions, Salesforce actions. On top of that, quick actions also we can perform. And the next thing is we can call subflows. Okay, subflows. And on the top, we discussed what type of subflows we can call. So, subflows of type auto launch or another screen flow. Okay, these are main three actions. I mean, these actions we can call it as a interaction actions, guys. Okay, in all the three flows, if you see it, always it was divided into three things. Interaction is the one thing, and the second thing is the logical. So if you click on here, okay, interaction is nothing but UI related stuff, guys. Okay, all the UI related stuff. Then logical is something like that. These functions, these things will help us to apply the logical checks or logical conditions. Okay, so after that, data. Okay, so as part of the interactions that we can perform is the screen action subflow. Okay, in case of logical, it's assignment, decision, loop, transform, collection, sort, collection, filter. Okay, these are the logical things that we have in screen flows. So interactions, we have three things. The first one is like screens. Okay, using that we can display a screen to capture input from the users. The second one is actions. Okay, we can call standard Salesforce actions for submit for approval, all those things. The third thing is the subflows. All these three are the interactions of screen flows. After that, we have logic. Okay, as part of the logic stuff, we have assignments. Okay, guys, make sure you understand very good about these actions, because in all other flows also it's the same, guys. It's the interaction, logic, and data operations. Okay, it's almost same with small differences in the interaction section. Okay, logic and data is almost all same. Okay, so we will see it. Assignment is the one, and then decision, loop, and we have others also like transform, collection sort, and collection filter. Okay, you have to remember all these what all available things in flows, guys. Like transform, after loop, it's transform, then collection sort, then collection filter. Okay, assignment is simply nothing but a equals to 10. Whenever you want to create a variable and assign that with the some value, we use this assignment operation. Whenever we want to assign a variable with some value, we use this. For example, a equals to 10. Okay, this is kind of assignment. Decisions. We use this for nested if. Nested if else. Okay, it's condition like if you go to the decision, right? There is a outcomes. If this satisfies, what should happen? Or else you can add different outcomes. Okay, if this satisfies. Okay, if this satisfies, like that, here we are checking different conditions and we are providing the paths. This is the decision node here, which is deciding if this condition satisfies, go to this path. Second condition satisfied, go to this path. Third condition satisfied, go to this path. Fourth condition, this path. Okay, it's a conditional check. Okay, simply to tell you, we use this for conditional checks. Okay, and then loop. In case of multiple records, we use this. Generally, in programming language, we use, um, this is, this works like a for loop. Okay. Generally, in the programming language, we use for loops, right? Or while loops whenever we want to do something. So, loop is also in the flows. It's the same thing. Whenever you have multiple records and you want to iterate all the records one by one, that is the scenario. We use loop, guys. Okay. Transform, I'll tell you. Okay. Collection sort. Okay. Whenever you want to sort your records by ascending or descending. Okay. Sorts the records by ascending or descending in case of multiple. Okay. In case if you have, this loop collection sort, collection filters are in case of only multiple records, guys. Okay. After that, collection filter is something like that. It filter out the data. Sorts the records by ascending or descending. This is something like that. Filter the records. Filter the records in case of multiple. Okay, obviously in case of multiple records, we would like to filter some records. Then we use collection filter. Otherwise, in case if we want to sort the records, we use collection sort. In case if we want to loop the records, we use the loop. And transform is something like that. For example, if we click on here, so whatever the things I'm explaining you guys, uh, if you want to see it in the Salesforce itself, see, assignment is set variable values. Okay. Decision is create paths for the following based on the certain conditions. Okay. Loop iterates over a collection of values or records. Transform. Transform your source data into new target data set that uses formats, structures, and like values. It's something like that. You are just um it's something like that you have set of strings, guys, but actually they are the numbers. Okay, you would like to transform your string to number. We can use the transform. Okay, one data set to another data set. Okay, and then collection sort, reorder your items. Okay, ascending or descending. Okay, filters, create a collection of subset of the original collection. Whenever you filter something, obviously it's a subset of the original set, right? That is the one collection filters. The same way you can see on the screens also. Information, actions, subflows, launch another flow. But they don't tell guys, it has the restriction of record trigger flow. But whenever you are trying to use this one, automatically you will get to know because you couldn't able to select the other flows. Okay. So transform is something like that. Whenever we want to change, we use this to change uh, one data set to another data set. For example, strings to integer, string to integer, um, or integer to string, like that. Okay. Whenever you want to change one data set to another data set, generally we use this transform operators. Basically, we have 6 logical operators in flows, guys. Assignment. Okay. It's not operators, we just call them as the elements, guys. In flows, all these things we call it as a elements. Okay. Assignment, decision, loop, transform, collection sort, and collection filters. Okay. These are the 4 logic things we have. Very, very important, guys. Okay. They ask you the questions. Can you just tell me what are the logical things that we can perform using flows? Can you just tell me what are the different some actions that we can perform on flows? Okay. Can we call a subflow from the flow? Okay. If you are aware of these things, then you can answer all these type of questions. Okay. And the next thing what we have is the data. Okay, this is the last category, guys. Using this in Screenflows, we have 5 things we can do. That means we can create records, we can update records, we can get records, delete. So it's like a CRUD permission: create, update, create, read, edit, delete. Okay, and roll back records. Okay, for that means if you perform any operation, if you perform a create records, okay, and after that you feel some, if any exception is happened, okay, if you want to roll back, for example, you try to create 10 records and unfortunately at the time of creating the 10th record you got some exception, then you don't want to proceed the rest of the 9 records also, then we can use the rollback records option. Okay, coming to the data one, the next point is the data. Okay. Using data, the operations that we can perform is create records, update records, get records, delete records, roll back records. Okay. So it's create records, update records, get records, delete records, and roll back records. Okay. So as part of the create record, we can create any object records, guys. Okay. We can update any object records. As part of the process builders and flows, I mean, even process builders, we can create any object records, and the same way we can update any object records. Okay. The same way we can query, we can get any object records. Okay, but this delete records is not available in process builder, but flows, this is available, guys. Rollback records also is not available. Same in flows, we have only create records and update record, guys. But whereas in process builders, we have extra three operations on the database like get records and delete records and rollback records. We can delete any object records and roll back. We can roll back the, we can roll back any CRUD operation. We can roll back any CRUD operation. That means whenever you just said rollback records, then automatically all the operations which are happened, like CRUD operations which are happened previously, they'll get rolled back. Okay. So these mainly we call it as a elements of the flows. So flows contains three kinds of element: interaction elements, logical elements, data elements. So coming to the screen flow, the interaction elements are like screens, actions, subflows, and logical elements are assignment, decision, loop, transform, collection sort, collection filters. And data elements are create record, update records, get, delete, and roll back. Okay. If you have all these elements in your mind, once I give you the requirements, then we need to analyze, okay, what element I need to use for this requirement. Okay. So to first to start that analysis itself, you need to know what all the different elements which we can use in screen flows. Okay. I'm going to give you a small pause here, guys. Any doubt regarding these elements? One second, yes. Hello. Um, Hi guys, I'm back. So Any questions on elements, guys? Flow elements. Okay. If you don't have questions, let's move on our first scenario. Okay. We need to submit for an approval when opportunity amount is greater than 500. Okay. So basically, it doesn't include any UI action, right, guys? So we need to submit an opportunity when opportunity amount is greater than 500. That means whenever they create the opportunities or when they edit the opportunities, they generally give the opportunity amounts, right? So this is the example of record triggered flow. So the scenario here to, to submit this record for opportunities, whenever the opportunity amount is 5,000. So we need to think when the opportunity amount will become 5,000. What are the different ways that they can give the opportunity amount as 5,000? At the time of creating the opportunity, they can give. And the second thing is, at the time of editing the opportunity, they can give 5,000. That means whenever we are creating the record or whenever we are editing the record, we need to do some action. So that is the example of record triggered flow because that is the use case which will fire. We can have a criteria to fire on create and edit. So this is not the example of our screen flow. Okay. The second thing is whenever I create an account, I would like to update a customer support email on customer support contact email field. Again, this is also when I would like to perform this action. I would like to perform this action on creation of the account. Again, it's a record triggered flow. None of the accounts should be inactivated if they have open opportunities. Okay. So this is the example of our, that means whenever there is an open opportunity, if they are trying to make it as a inactive, okay, okay, whenever that they are trying to make it as a inactivated, we should not allow them to make it as a inactive. Okay, this is the example of our screen flow, guys, because here we have to display them the display an error to the user, right? If they are trying to make it as a inactive, we have to display a error, right? So this is the, like, it can be achieved in two ways, guys. Okay, the one way is, it's not two ways, sorry. It's always a screen flow. We need to display an error message to the user. So this is the example of our screen flow. Okay. So we will just see how this we can implement using the screen flow in the tomorrow's class, guys. But this is our screen flow example. The first two things are the record trigger flows example. Okay. And the fifth one is need to delete cases which are spam or created by mistake. So this is the example of our scheduled. This should happen on a particular time, monthly, weekly, or something like that. So this is the example of scheduled trigger flows. Okay. Then account type field on the contact. Whenever the type field is updated on contact, all respective contacts of this account should be updated with the same type. Okay. This is also record triggered flow. Okay. Auto launched flows are something like that. You can just divide up, for example, update an account. This functionality, you can keep it as a separate and you can call that auto launched flows from the other flows. It's simply like that sub functions, guys. Okay, whenever you have the auto launched flow, that functionality you can utilize from different types of flows. That's the reason utility functions, I can say. Whenever while writing the code, generally we will write utility functions. That means if any function is common function that we can use from multiple places, we will not write the code in multiple places. We will just write the code in one place and we will call from all other places, right? The same way, auto launch is something like that. You can implement some functionality like create or update or delete, and that action you can call from all other different flows. Okay. So there won't be special scenarios that you are going to use auto launched functionalities alone, guys. It's all you will be having the scenarios of record trigger flows, screen flows, and scheduled flows. From all these three flows, whenever there is a common functionality, you will be writing an auto launch flow. And that common functionality you will be calling from all these three flows. Okay. So our fourth thing is also again a record triggered flow. Basically, in your project also, there are 60% of the flows which we generally develop on record triggered flows. And hardly, not only 60 guys, I can say 80% of the flows on record triggered flows, 15% on screen flows, and 5% on schedule triggered flows. Okay. On all the flows, if there is any common functionality, they are going to implement like a auto launched flow and they'll be calling from the parent flows. Okay. So tomorrow we will just see how this can be implemented using that flow. Okay. We will just see this thing. After that, we will move on to the record triggered flow. But if you are very familiar with with the screen flows elements, guys, then it's very easy to learn the other flows elements also. It's always same. The only a little bit of difference here we are calling the screens. In record trigger flow, we will just have some more other small more actions or less actions. Okay, only two or three actions are going to change. That's it. Rest of the concept is completely same. Okay. We don't have enough time to start working on that flow. So, fine. We will just we'll just see that in the tomorrow's class. That's it for today, guys. Thank you. If you have any questions, you can stay on. We can discuss on your questions. Or else, please feel free to drop off. Thank you.